Welcome to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP, in association with Savaged Unfiltered Podcast, TheLibertyBeacon.com, and I am your host, Joseph M Lenard, and that's Lenard. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and occasional guest type podcast. As Listen Notes says, there are 168.9 million plus podcast episodes available out there for you to listen to. So I really appreciate you tuning into mine. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show. A few weeks ago, we discussed movies, theaters, politics in movies. This week, we're going to discuss, as a sort of follow-up, a seemingly sensible segue, music, TV, and politics, since I cut that from the articles on movies because it was extending that article and would have made that show too long. So we're going to catch up on that now. But before I do indeed get into music, TV, politics, I wanted to mention, while we are several weeks past the Barbenheimer opening weekend, as they're calling it, finally, the theaters were able to set some new records. Barbenheimer, the combination of the Barbie and Oppenheimer movies, set some box office records for the first time in like 4 years. But yet, SAG-AFTRA are out there on strike. Who knows by the time this show actually airs and this article comes out, if that may be over by then. This is expecting to hit on September 30th, but I really doubt SAG-AFTRA will have settled anything by then. But one never knows. The UPS strike was averted by a deal that nobody saw coming as quickly as it came. So one never really knows. It's entirely possible, but SAG-AFTRA out on strike, going to hurt the movie industry, hurt the movie theaters, who some of which were looking at permanently needing to go into bankruptcy to restructure and determine whether they were going to close permanently or not, finally got a reprieve from all their heartache and hard times and had that great Barbenheimer weekend, and reaping some of the benefits from that still. And who knows if any other films for the summer and fall blockbuster type season of 2023 will get another one of those to help keep them afloat. And the other thing is, I mentioned in the other movies and politics articles about They Live being the 35th anniversary. I hope you had a chance to catch that in the theaters. If not, please rent it. Because again, that was an early John Carpenter writer-director film that involved aliens. Aliens were kind of the stand-in for the deep state, right? The rhinos, the CINOs, the fascocrats, deep state part of government that no matter who controls Congress and who controls the White House, they are still there trying to enact their fascocrats style tyrannical governance over you, resisting any change, any return to our republic as it once was, our attempt to restore our American republic, not republican. There is republicism, which is about our republic, our constitutionally limited republic. And then there is the party republicanism. I am about republicism protecting the republic, not hyper-partisan republicanism, hack establishment, deep state crap. We need to indeed fight within the Republican Party, as I've said before, in order to make sure we bring it back to the solid conservative constitutional party platform. We as delegates, and if you're not a delegate, you need to become one, vote in place at the convention to have, but yet so many of the establishment rhino hacks ignore. And we must work together as delegates on and within the committees and at the county and state and federal conventions to get better candidates that will adhere to our party platform. This is a bit of an aside, I understand that. Like, let me mention Liz Cheney, right? Wyoming kicked Liz Cheney to the curb, rightfully in my mind, but not because she wasn't a solid platform Republican. She was. She's really a good Republican, but she suffered Trump derangement syndrome, and she allowed herself to be turned into an emotionally hysterical snowflake because of that, run on her emotion. If you took Liz Cheney's voting record, erased her name, and took off the impeachment stuff, the impeachment votes, put her record in front of somebody and said, what do you think of this person? They would instantly say, this person needs to be our party nominee for president. This is a great voting record. Like something like 95% tile rating on all conservative groups that measure such things. And on paper, she's great, except for, of course, her Trump derangement syndrome nonsense. So after Trump's second term, which we all expect him to get the nomination for 2024, and if he can get elected president again, has a second term, maybe Liz Cheney can make a comeback once Trump is gone 4 years later out of the picture. 2028, 2030, 2032, maybe she could come back because, again, her voting record was pretty solid. But I've gone down another rabbit hole there. We were talking about the movies and They Live. The aliens, when you put on the special glasses and see them, it's like today if we had special glasses that people could put on and see the deep state actors. So John Carpenter had a movie that, in my opinion, was way before its time in dealing with political issues a lot of people overlook and look past and shouldn't be. So if you didn't get a chance to see They Live in the theaters again for its 35th anniversary, please rent it now. It's an important film now that you know the political aspects behind it. Regarding music, I'm hoping by the time this airs and the article comes out, this issue will also be all cleared up. What am I talking about? Getting into music, Jason Aldean and the Try That in a Small Town music, tune, and video controversy, mainly the video, right? Because of the crime in the streets scenes therein, and the left trying to all of a sudden make this all about race. Well, guess what? If you think his video and that song, who Jason didn't write, it was written by two others, I think from the Denver, Colorado area, though don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure of that part, but indeed, it was a songwriting team that wrote it. They showed it to Jason. He loved it. He was on the same page with them about it being pro-America, Americana. It is not anti-anyone in particular except anti-criminals and about law and order, rule of law. But the left wants to make it about race. Well, if you see anti-Blackism in that video, you are the racist, because those crime scenes don't show just black faces. It shows all kinds of different colored faces in those videos. It's about crime in general, not even about blackline Marxists or Antifa in general, crime in general. And about if you try that bleep in a law-abiding neighborhood, we indeed do have the right to defend ourselves. It's nothing more than that. And the issue of trying to make this about the courthouse in the background, that a lynching took place 100 years ago, is nonsense. Jason didn't know that. The production team that scouted the location for the video had no idea. They chose it because it was nearby to them, so it was convenient to shoot there. And that courthouse was made popular already for shooting scenes for whatever, because the Hannah Montana movie was shot there. There was also a Christmas movie that was shot there. If you haven't heard these facts already, they're worth repeating if you have. What is Hannah Montana racist now? I guess Miley Cyrus needs to be canceled as a racist. And I think Mariah Carey appeared in that Christmas movie. So I guess Mariah Carey, who was married to Nick Cannon for a while, who, if you don't know, is a black man, I suppose she's racist too, for having been in a Christmas film that took place with some shooting outside that courthouse. So spare us the bull bleep. We all know it's just garbage. They didn't know the lynching took place either until some nut went back and scoured that film to say, what can we say next after the crime in the street as all black people, and people saw the video and saw that that was a lie, was then dismissed. They needed some other bogus false narrative argument. Some idiot was able to go back into that history of that courthouse and find that. And that isn't gaining much traction either, because again, the whole Hannah Montana and the Christmas movie thing, it's like, right, yeah, they purposely chose that courthouse because there was a lynching there, they'd like you to believe. And nobody is dumb enough, even Democrat, fascocrats, party voters aren't even that dumb to keep buying that. But hopefully by the time this airs, country music television will have reconsidered their pulling of the video from their airwaves due to the backlash. If you've engaged in boycotting country music television, good for you, even better, whether you boycott it or not. If you've engaged in sending them letters, emails, postcards, filling up their voicemail with messages, not of hate, no threats, don't do that, but let them know they're caving to this cancel culture, wokeism, false narrative, pathetical corruptness, as I call the PC culture. Pathetical corruptness is not acceptable. We will not stand for it. And your bottom line is now going to hurt. We're going to win and where we can, not watch your station, let your ratings drop, and hopefully maybe even get you pulled from cable channels, cable carriers. Get your channel canceled. You want to cancel Jason? All right, we cancel you. Turnabout is fair play here. It's the only thing they understand is money. These corporations need to be made to hurt. They're chasing, as we discussed in the Bidenomics episodes, they're chasing these ESG pennies. Meanwhile, we may need to make sure dollars flood out through their back door and they hurt and learn a lesson. The other thing is television. Well, we need some positive shows back. I always loved the streets of San Francisco when I was growing up. Now, of course, the problem is San Francisco has gone to hell. We can't have a return to the streets of San Francisco show, which would show all this garbage in the streets going on. Also, Adam 12, an emergency took place in California. Well, I think we need a pro-law and order film. We've seen the reboot of Hawaii Five-0, correct? And the reboot of Magnum PI. Now, full disclosure, I don't watch those, but I'd love to move Adam 12 out of California, maybe put it in a more red state, a more rural, but it can't be too rural, right? It needs to be a big city in a red state to really show what's going on and be a positive back the blue message. So I would really love to see somebody say, we need to reboot Adam 12 so that we can get those positive messages again, but move it out of California. And some final thoughts. Again, I mentioned we need to roar, right? Restore our American Republic. And you can indeed go to savagedarmy.com and find shirts and other things with that message. Wear those to show that you're on the side of MAGA. Make America great again. Not America alone, but America first. Not America alone, not America only, but America first. And I mentioned Roland Emmerich, my favorite director. Well, I guess I just said it. I guess he is my favorite director. I love all his films. The Stargate movie, the Independence Days, The Day After Tomorrow, even though it was a climate hustle, based kind of garbage. All his films. Of late, Moonfall, that was hurt at the box office, hurt his revenue. It was meant to be a big blockbuster like Independence Day and all those others, like a Stargate. But unfortunately, it got hurt by COVID. And Moonfall is great if you get the chance to see it. It's based on not the hollow earth theory, but the fact that maybe the moon is artificial and hollow. He didn't create the theory, just like he took Eric von Daniken's Chariots of the God and the ancient aliens theory to make the movie Stargate of pyramid-shaped ships landing on pyramids in Egypt as their landing platforms. He took the hollow moon theory because when we left the moon, we dropped objects on it and it rang like a bell, suggesting it was hollow. So he used that concept, that theory, for his movie Moonfall, and I highly recommend it. But I'm mentioning him again because I watched the movie Cellular the other day with Noah Emmerich, Chris Evans, Jason Statham, William H. Macy, Kim Basinger, and more. A great blockbuster film. This was back a while smartphones were just starting to come into the picture here, where our regular phones were getting far more technological abilities to take pictures and drop less calls and that. So the movie Cellular was great about someone who's been kidnapped and there's a phone that was busted and she puts together the wires and accidentally gets someone's cellular phone and their interaction and him, Chris Evans, trying to help save her. Great film if you get a chance to rent it. But Noah Emmerich was in that, and also Toby Emmerich had something to do with that. And I just wanted to mention, people generally know those names due to Backwash and The Walking Dead, but they are not related to Roland Emmerich. There's a separation there, but it seems like the Emmerich name is something worth paying attention to anytime you see an Emmerich of any shape or form having to do with a project. It turns out to be something great. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. There's a whole lot more, of course, about movies, music, TV, and the political aspect, because we do see that in our TV shows today, all the wokeism. I did indeed see Oppenheimer. I walked out early. It's 3 hours. It felt like 5 hours. I walked out like 45 minutes left in the film. I saw enough of it. It was plenty. I enjoyed what I saw, but I didn't think I needed to see the rest of that film. Like a movie like Titanic was 3 hours, and there are other movies that are 3 hours, but they move so well, they flow so well, they don't feel like 3 hours. But Oppenheimer felt like it was going on forever. And yes, I did see the Barbie movie, which is a very weird mishmash of messages. Yes, there's definitely some wokest messages, but there's also some conservative messages in there. They show Midge, the pregnant Barbie, a family value Barbie that indeed did get canceled. It's not available now. I'm sure if you can get your hands on a Midge, it's probably worth a lot of money. And they showed in the ending credits the pregnant Barbie with the baby in the womb. So it's a mishmash. So it's not really pro anything or anti anything. It's just a bunch of spaghetti, different types, all mishmashed together like a spaghetti with a bazillion different noodles, and hope that it goes down well, that it tastes well, and people will like it. And people indeed are loving it. It is seen as a pure entertainment value movie, as a movie really should be. A lot of time we talk about wokeism in movies, but it isn't always fair. Like the last Halloween movies, I was very upset with because they had a gay couple living in Michael Myers' old home. It has zero to do with the storyline. It was clearly just pure pandering and unnecessary. But then you take M. Night Shyamalan's last film, Knock at the Cabin, which had a gay couple in the film in the cabin. But this time, it was really actually essential to the story. It wasn't a pandering woke movie. It was needed, and I don't want to give away spoilers, but it questions, it plays at the brain to make you think, who is doing what for what reasons? Are their motivations actually indeed pure or not? And the best way to demonstrate that was through how M. Night Shyamalan delivered the movie. So I applaud him for it. Normally, yes, I would attack a movie like, what was it? The Buzz Lightyear movie, Lightyear, with the lesbianism, the pure, it seemed, pandering there to have the kiss scene. So people tried to boycott the Lightyear movie, although, kids want to see the Lightyear movie and probably don't pay much attention to that, although that's part of their thing, to subconsciously get into people's brains and reinforce the woke agenda going on in the schools, so it isn't strange to them. So we have to be careful and not overreact when we see these things. Like when you hear there's a gay couple in the cabin in Knock at the Cabin, not overreact and assume it's just a wokest film, or like the Day After Tomorrow film from Roland Emmerich, just assume he's some climate hustle hoaxer guy. No, it was just a premise for the film, for a great action film, a great setting. It doesn't mean he's on board with the climate hustle. So we have to be careful and pick and choose our battles, unlike the last Matrix film, which I discussed before. The Matrix creator got in a dust-up with Elon Musk on Twitter, which is now called X. Are we tweeting? Are we Xing? Are we what? That's a whole other thing. I didn't discuss that in my social media show, but who knows what's going on there. The man's a genius, though. Who knows? Again, he needs to make it turn a profit. He's about profit as well as free speech. So time will only tell on that. But again, the thought here, I'm grasping because I lost my train of thought. So overreacting was my point. Not assuming Roland Emmerich is some climate hustle clown because of his The Day After Tomorrow movie. It was just a great premise to create an action movie, a suspense drama. And the same with Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan. Doesn't mean he's pandering to the LGBTQ plus whatever, the rainbow alphabet mafia agenda. So we have to be careful and look at the people like the Matrix creator after that dust up with Elon said he was going to pander to the rainbow alphabet mafia. The character's name is Switch, as in switch genders, as in trans. He literally said Matrix 4 is a trans allegory film. And that's not the only thing. There's a scene where they attack conservatives, people on the right, with a bunch of stereotypical anti-conservative tropes about what the left tries to stereotype and think it is what we believe in. All this anti-woman agenda, the racist, sexist, homophobic, blah, 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 blah agenda. So there is that. We have to be careful and make sure we examine the people behind it and their actual motivations apart from their actual film or music or television show in general. Sometimes people just write something. I, as an author, I've put things in my books, not because it is something in my head, something that I believe in, something that I want to promote, but because it makes for good storyline fodder. It helps move along the storyline. Fiction means you're dealing with fictional characters which take artificial stances. And that is true of some of these situations and characters in the movies. So please be conscious of that and hold our powder dry, as the saying goes, not have a left-wing snowflake, emotionally hysterical reaction, a knee-jerk reaction when we see something. Be sure we get our facts straight. We engage in knowledge and learning before we criticize too heavily or add a caveat. This is before I've really fully researched something. This is my initial reaction. It could change if someone presents more information to make me think a little differently. Thank you all for tuning in. Take care and God bless.
All righty.
I'm about to be joined with Michael Gardner yet again. But before I do that, I, of course, need to do the obligatory plea for you to please like and subscribe to the ChristiTutionalist Politics podcast. I'm stumbling over my own show name, the ChristiTutionalist Politics podcast, and Savaged Unfiltered, of which Michael Gardner joins us from, as well as, of course, please share some episodes with family, friends, total strangers on the street, especially via email and your social media, because as of this show, this is just the 15th episode. I need your help in building my audience, building my following. So please like, subscribe, and share episodes. So how's it going down there in Florida today, Michael?
Well, it's raining here, miserable clouds. It's every day. It's like the same weather pattern from I want to say like 2 o'clock up to like 8 p.m. So it's terrible. I'm just enjoying the weather outside here.
Yeah, what? It's like 175 degrees down there right now, huh?
Oh no, not right now. It just started pouring right now. So
Oh, so it cooled off quite a bit. Yeah, yesterday, while we're recording yesterday, we had like a land typhoon. I thought my flagpole was like leaning at a 45-degree angle. I thought one of them 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts was going to launch it like a missile down the street. But anyway, thanks for joining me again. I first wanted to ask you your thoughts on the Jason Aldean controversy.
well, I'm not a big fan of Jason. He's like one of those celebrities that are like a hit and miss. Uh, I don't know. I classify him as like a one-hit wonder. I mean, I really do. I'm not a big fan of his country music. Really am not. I mean, Willie Nelson, all the classic greats. Those are the people I listen to. You know, Jason Aldean. I don't know, man. He's different. You know.
Yeah, he's more a country rock, like a
Yeah.
Garth Brooks. So you're more an old school country.
Well,
I
I'm
like
old
it all.
school. Yeah, I'm old school, but I also like the new stuff. Like I'll listen to Kid Rock. You know, I think Kid Rock is very patriotic. Um, I like a lot of Kid Rock's new songs and stuff like
Yeah.
that, where he's making fun of Joe Biden, which I think is hilarious. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of Jason Aldean. I did see a lot of backlash coming from his music video, where they're trying to edit, where I think they did edit a lot of the Black Lives Matter stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to, of course, distort and distract and deflect and deny and take it all out of context. All of a sudden, it's racist, like that courthouse. There was a Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana video film there, and also I think Mariah Carey was in a Christmas movie there. So I guess tell Nick Cannon, who was married to Mariah Carey, she's racist.
I guess so. Like if you don't agree with them, they come up with the stupidest nonsense in this world. It really is. It's just straight up nonsense. If they don't agree with you, oh, you're like, you're racist or you're a homophobe or this and that. I mean, it's just Joseph. It's nonsense. When is this stuff going to stop, man?
Yeah. When are people going to wake up and stop falling for this crap? That's the problem. There are so many Democrats that continue to fall for this crap. And the next thing I wanted to ask you, you're younger. Do you remember the show Adam 12?
Adam 12. No, that does not ring a bell.
No, it was a pair of cops, and their squad designation was Adam 12. And the reason I bring it up is this show has to do with TV. So I was lamenting how nice it would be, like the Jason Aldean video being pro rule of law, how nice it would bring to bring back a show like Adam 12 and actually support rule of law and our cops for a change. But what's a TV show you'd like to see brought back?
The honeymooners, the Jeffersons, um, the Jetsons. I mean, the Jetsons were like, they nailed everything on the bat, you know, with all future technology. I mean, with Skype and Zoom and, you know, smart TVs. That was all the Jetsons. That was in the 60s. I love the Jetsons to come back. I would love like the old TGIF Friday lineup to come back, you know, Family Matters and Full House, all those shows, Joseph, they explained like fundamentals of America. You know, they taught strong household principles. You
Yes.
know, all that stuff was all on those shows. You know, Boy Meets World, Step by Step, all those
Yeah.
great shows. Perfect
Morals,
Strangers with
morals
Cousin
and
Valerie.
values. Yeah,
Yeah,
morals, values, principles. Yeah. Now they rebooted Full House.
did they? Oh yeah, Fuller House. It's on like Netflix.
Right, right. But that's the problem. It's on one of those streamers. And since you're an actor and a movie guy, both in front of and behind the camera, I gotta
Yeah.
ask you lastly about the Barbenheimer records. They're calling it Barbenheimer. Have you heard that? Barbie and Oppenheimer weekend set
Yeah,
records.
yeah. I don't know. I just got off the phone with our good friend Sauce, you know, cousin Sauce of Savaged Unfiltered, and he uh he said the same thing. You know, Sauce and I, we're not big fans of the whole Barbie movie. I think it's trash. I think it's a waste of production. I really do. The sales, I'm told, are doing somewhat okay. I mean, it's gonna attract, you know, that certain audience level, but it's just
I actually saw it. It wasn't
oh,
horrible. It wasn't
you
horrible.
wasted a movie ticket, didn't you, Joseph?
No, I saw it at my MJR theater. I saw Oppenheimer. I left with like 30, 45 minutes left because it just dragged on forever. I saw enough of it. You know, it
Yeah,
just
but
dragged forever. But
you wasted a movie ticket to go see that garbage.
well, I saw them on Tuesday, free
Oh,
popcorn Tuesday, $5 and free popcorn Tuesday at MJR. So I
oh
didn't
wow.
invest a whole lot. And yeah, the Barbie was actually kind of funny. As I go into the episode before this interview will be tacked on, uh, you know, there's a lot of different things in the Barbie movie. It's almost that they try to be all things for all people. And usually when you do that, you upset everybody and you hurt yourself, but it's doing well. It was the
Yeah.
fourth all time of I maybe number one for female directors of an opening weekend and four all time for female movies. So it's doing pretty well.
Well,
And the
it's pandering.
theaters need this. The theaters
Yeah,
need this. They're hurting.
it's pandering to China. You know, of course they got to throw that in there because it's a
Yeah,
Martell company, and
that
you know
flag.
they have
Yep.
to support their creator, so to speak, right? So
Yeah. That's a good question. I wonder where Barbie dolls are actually made these days, if they indeed come from China or not.
oh yeah,
But
they don't make them in the States. I don't think any Barbie doll or any type of clothing or any type of merchandise is made here in the States. I doubt it.
yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't delve in and research that. I probably should have, since I was going to bring it up. But I mean, what all is made here now? I mean, most things will say assembled in the
Yeah.
United States to try to trick people. That's not the same as made in the United States. That's just
No,
getting
they
all
just
the
throw that
parts.
fake label on it.
Yeah, all the parts come from overseas, and some slave labor made it all, and somebody here just assembles the parts or puts it in the box, and that's supposedly assembled in America. Like
Yeah,
most.
I seen a couple liberal shows the other day. You know, our good friends at the View. You know, they were like, I don't know why America is showing so much backlash from the Barbie movie, and then Indiana Jones, and they seem to love the Sound of Freedom versus Indiana Jones. Why are they not liking Indiana Jones? You know, and this and that. Well, Because it's woke garbage. Indiana Jones kind of sold out to the woke agenda.
I didn't notice that. I saw all 4 of the movies we've talked about. I didn't see that. I just think the Indiana Jones, there was too much time between the last one and this one. It's kind of played
Yeah, there was a
itself
huge
out.
time lapse.
Yeah, I think Indiana Jones would have done a lot better had Sound of Freedom not been out. Now, if they wouldn't have had a lot of people that would be interested in this show and your show, would have been potential customers for Indiana Jones had
Yeah,
Sound
we
of
just
Freedom
discussed
not
all
been
this, with the whole Barbie, this just earlier today, that episode aired on iHeart, the episode 284, Cousin Sash Returns. We just, you and I, Joseph, we just discussed this on the show, with the whole Barbie and,
Yeah.
like what the hell is, these islands doing in the damn movie and this and
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that's completely irrelevant to the script. It's
Yeah.
pure pandering to China, and they put it there knowing most people will have zero clue what the heck that
Yeah, they won't
actually
pick
is.
it up. They'll have like a 5 or 6-year-old mentality, like when we were watching The Wizard of Oz and you would see the Munchkin, background being hung on the tree. 5, 6 years old, you can't pick that up right away.
Right.
There's like the hitting stuff, but
Exactly. Well, I know you got to get back on the road again.
yeah, I don't mean to keep on, if it's all right, Joseph, I'm drinking a big gulp, so that's why I'm always doing this.
Yeah.
You see Joseph's camera, I'm like,
Well,
I know,
yeah. I've got my Soda Stream root beer right here. So
yeah. All right, giving Joseph a free publicity here for a big gulp there.
All right. Well, thanks. Take care. I'll talk to you again. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday.
Yeah, not this Saturday, guys. You could check out Joseph next Saturday on the live stream on Rumble and YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and.
Yeah, you're going out of town, you said? You heading back to Atlanta for family again, or is this a vacation?
No, this is a vacation for myself, Joseph. I need it. Yeah, I'm leaving this Friday night, and I won't be back until next Thursday. So,
all right,
I'm going down to Miami for almost a week, just about a week.
Yeah. So, just as an insider behind the scenes here, this is actually being recorded on July the 27th, Thursday. So yes, actually, Mike will be back and there will be a live Savaged Unfiltered on Rumble and hopefully soon back to TikTok live. So that'll be what, Rumble, Twitch, and what's the other one?
Yeah, the live stream platforms, folks, are Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok. So that'd be 5 altogether. Yeah,
that's great. So again, people, thank you for tuning in. And again, like and subscribe to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast and Savaged Unfiltered. Maybe even go back a few years and dig up some old The Patriot Angle shows with Michael Gardner.
God, yeah. And our dinosaur library of that show.
Yeah. And of course, share episodes. We need your help to grow the shows. Take care, everybody. God bless. Thank you for having tuned into ChristiTutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold, or autographed copies are available online direct from me via TerrorStrikes.info/shop. And you can obviously learn more about the very non-traditional or fluffy style Christian book, but a Christian book nonetheless. Also, please tune in to Savaged Unfiltered podcast, of which I am a co-host, and be sure to check out more about today's discussion at TheLibertyBeacon.com, where my articles drop every Saturday. In addition to seeing the corresponding TheLibertyBeacon.com piece referenced in any episode of ChristiTutionalist Podcast, see to the show transcript on podcast platforms that provide access to it, like Buzzsprout at tinyurl.com/ChristiTutionalist for additional bonus material there in the transcript. Thank you. Take care. God bless.